My mother-in-law, Mrs. Zhao, never ceased to mock and criticize me for not being able to bear a child. Her words were like cold, sharp knives, and it hurt even more when my husband, Liam, always sided with her, obediently, as if all faults were mine alone to bear. The day I thought would change my life finally arrived when I presented the ultrasound scan to them, but both of their reactions left me stunned. Liam and Mrs. Zhao simultaneously erupted in anger because of a truth no one had expected. Liam was completely infertile. As the ultrasound slipped from my grasp, Liam lunged to snatch it, his eyes filled with both fury and disbelief. "Jenny, how dare you pull a stunt like this?" Mrs. Zhao quickly stepped forward, snatching the paper from his hand, her gaze sharp enough to cut through the air. "Jenny, what is this?" I merely smirked, a faint smile playing on my lips, and replied, "Mother, haven't you always wished for Liam and me to have a child? Now that it's come true, why aren't you happy?" 3 years into this marriage, Mrs. Zhao never let up on mocking my fertility. She often compared me to the most inadequate things, even hinting that I wasn't worthy of living if I couldn't bear children. Her venomous words were like whips lashing at my self-esteem, and agonizingly, Liam always stood by, never once defending me. Many times, I had suggested we both get checked, hoping to find the real cause, but only met with refusal and contempt. They said it would just be a wasteful expense. Day after day, I felt trapped in an endless nightmare, to the point where I considered giving up everything, but my love for my parents held me back. Once again, Mrs. Zhao stared at the ultrasound, her voice trembling with each harsh word. "Jenny, whose baby is this?" I calmly replied, without a hint of wavering. "Mother, that's a strange question. The child is Liam's, of course." "Ridiculous," she shrieked, her voice sharp enough to tear through the air. "There's no way it's Liam's, so who's the other man?" "Mother, you can't accuse me without proof," I countered, maintaining a steady tone. Mrs. Zhao, seething, went inside to rummage through things, then returned, waving a handful of papers in front of me. "Liam has been infertile since childhood. How dare you pull this trick?" The truth was now clear. The problem wasn't mine. I gave a faint, cold smile. "And yet, Mother, you still blamed everything on me." I turned to Liam, my eyes full of disappointment. "You knew all along, but let me suffer alone for 3 years. What was your intention?" Mrs. Zhao pulled him towards her, her voice shrill, almost tearing through the silence. "This baby isn't Liam's. Whose is it? If you don't tell us, don't expect to have any peace." Before, I would often cower before her dominance, but no longer. I gently stroked my stomach and casually replied, "Not everyone deserves to know the truth. I'm not pregnant at all. The ultrasound was fake. I did it to test people's hearts." Who knew it would truly unveil such a heartbreaking truth? Facing Liam, I spoke without hesitation. "Liam, don't you have anything to say to me?" Mrs. Zhao stood in front of her son, loudly insulting me. "You have no right, you cheating woman, to question my little Liam." I merely smiled gently. "This house belongs to me, and who has to leave? Certainly not me. This house was my sole property before marriage. It has nothing to do with the Liam family." "Jenny, are you dreaming? We did the decorating for this house." Mrs. Zhao stubbornly insisted on the decorations. I raised an eyebrow, sweeping my gaze across the room, stopping at a withered green potted plant. "That potted plant is the only thing you brought. Everything else belongs to me." Before, I suggested Liam contribute to the decorations, but he always made one excuse after another to avoid it. And Mrs. Zhao complained about everything, even how the dowry was forced down from 50 million to just 5 million due to their difficult circumstances. My parents accepted, only wishing for me to have a happy marriage. "We need to have your parents come here and sort this out clearly," Mrs. Zhao threatened, using her familiar tactic to coerce me. Once, she had done that, causing my father to have a heart attack, which terrified me. But now, I was different. I picked up my phone, a calm smile on my face, and said, "Go ahead and call them. I'll also call Liam's boss and see if he can still keep his job." Hearing this, Mrs. Zhao's face twisted in fury. She raised her hand to strike me, but I deftly dodged. I returned a powerful slap, a slap that unleashed all the pent-up frustrations I had harbored for so long. Stunned, she staggered and fell to the floor, her eyes wide with disbelief. You dare to hit me?" I looked at her without the slightest hesitation, feeling my freedom finally emerge. As Mrs. Zhao shrieked her accusation, Liam interjected, pushing me back. "What are you doing?" "Apologize to Mother right now?" I looked at him, my voice resolute. "I want a divorce, and your agreement isn't needed." Liam was taken aback, his voice filled with confusion. No way, you can't just leave empty-handed. I smiled gently but with enough sarcasm. Who truly pretended to love me and deceived me from beginning to end? I didn't betray you, Liam roared, still trying to hold on to me. Coldly, I pulled a stack of photos from my pocket and threw them in front of him. Look closely. In the pictures, he was with another woman, specifically Tina. Liam bent down to pick up each photo, his hands trembling, his lips moving but unable to utter a defense, only provocatively questioning, "Jenny, how dare you have someone follow me? If you did it, why are you afraid of others knowing?" I replied coldly, my voice as sharp as a knife. All the promises, the vows of love you made have now come to this. Just last week, you advised me to withdraw all my savings and give them to you for your business, promising to return double the profit. Now, everything is exposed as a scam, simply aimed at extorting money from me. Suddenly remembering the recently purchased diamond necklace, I quickly walked into the room, rummaging through every drawer but found nothing. Returning to the living room, I asked Liam directly, "Where is my necklace?" Liam glanced at me, his voice nonchalant. "I don't know." Unable to suppress my suspicion, I rummaged through his bag and found a sales receipt. He had secretly sold the precious necklace, a birthday gift from my mother. A wave of anger surged, and I couldn't hold it back. I raised my hand and slapped him hard, decisively pointing towards the door. "Get out!" Liam was flustered but didn't give up easily. Immediately, Mrs. Zhao jumped up, hands on her hips, declaring as if giving an order, "This is my house. If anyone's going to get out, it's you." The commotion between us became unbearable for the neighbors, and then the police had to intervene. When the police arrived, I presented the property deed, proving that ownership of the house belonged to me. Mrs. Zhao was reprimanded directly by the police, but she stubbornly refused to leave. She still fantasized about taking over this house. The next day, I invited a lawyer to speak decisively with her. Hearing every word from the lawyer, Mrs. Zhao became even more furious, threatening that if I forced her out, she would bash her head in and die, turning the house into a haunted house no one would dare live in. I looked at her, responding calmly with a cold smile, "Then do as you wish." She often used that threat to intimidate me, but now it had no effect. She had always wanted me to die to take everything, but thankfully, now everything was clear. Unsuccessful in their crude actions, the mother and son resorted to another cunning trick, secretly seeking out my parents, hoping to sow discord in my family. Just as I predicted, my father was angered by them to the point of fainting. At the hospital, I witnessed Mrs. Zhao mockingly saying to my mother, "Madam, what kind of children do you raise? Your daughter, Jenny, is unfilial and runs around outside. Do you even know whose child she's carrying?" Mrs. Zhao gave a sinister chuckle. "Who knows whose child it is? If it weren't for Liam's easygoing nature, Jenny would have been beaten black and blue." My mother sat there, weakly apologizing profusely. "Madam, it's my family's fault. Jenny acted inappropriately. When she arrives, I'll tell her to apologize to you." Mrs. Zhao, unsatisfied, clicked her tongue. "Just a few million, what's that enough for?" Unable to bear the sight, I stepped forward and snatched the card from her hand, angrily speaking loudly. "My father is in the ICU, and you still dare to take money from my mother? Everything he's enduring is because of you. If anything happens to my father, you know who will pay the price." Mrs. Zhao had never been spoken to so loudly before. Her voice trembling, she glanced at my mother and made excuses. "Madam, do you see? Your daughter dares to confront an elder like this." As she spoke, she pretended to clutch her chest, sighed dramatically, and slumped to the floor. My mother quickly bent down to help her, but I pulled her back, whispering, "She's just acting, mother. Don't pay attention to her." Hearing this, Mrs. Zhao became even more agitated, screaming loudly in the hospital until a doctor intervened, forcing her to be silent. Standing up, she looked directly at my mother, her tone acrid. "Madam, my family can no longer tolerate Jenny. Everyone is here today, so let's be clear about everything." I calmly replied, "I will never abandon the baby, even though I wasn't pregnant." Mrs. Zhao continued, "If you're not abandoning it, then proceed with the divorce. Jenny is the party at fault in this marriage and must bear full responsibility. My family, after all, isn't unreasonable. You can take your clothes and jewelry. Leave everything else for my family, and don't even mention compensation money." It was hard to suppress my irritation at the theatrical performance Mrs. Zhao was putting on right in front of me. That act now held no credibility whatsoever. Liam lost his job because he was negligent and angered his boss, which has nothing to do with me. An adult who spends all day thinking about how to extort money and swallow his wife's assets, was he sleeping all day? I retorted fiercely. Are you unaware that Liam and I are getting a divorce? Do I need to show you more intimate photos of him and Tina? He himself hid his infertility and cheated on me behind my back. Morally, asterisk, he is the one who will leave empty-handed. Hearing this, Mrs. Zhao seemed to go mad, scoffing in reply, Liam cheated? Why don't you look at yourself? Whose child is in your belly then? My mother's voice faltered as she tried to mediate. Madam, this is a hospital. Everyone should be calm. But Mrs. Zhao loudly interrupted. Why are you getting involved? Your daughter cheated and isn't even ashamed. Mrs. Zhao shrieked. Is this what a daughter of a highly educated family turns out to be? She continued her insulting remarks, even targeting my mother. But this time, I wouldn't tolerate it. Pushed to my limit, I didn't say much. I shoved her, my voice clear. Apologize to my mother right now. Mrs. Zhao glared back, not to be outdone. Your mother should be apologizing to me. All this trouble comes from you people, Jenny. If you don't give me a good reason today, I won't let this go. The crowd around us grew larger and larger. My mother worried, Madam, please don't cause any more trouble. But Mrs. Zhao pushed forward, forcefully swinging her arm, causing my mother to hit the door frame. At that exact moment, my anger surged, uncontrollable. I grabbed her hair and lunged. As Mrs. Zhao and I were brawling, Liam appeared, forcefully separating us, his voice loud with criticism. Jenny, what kind of spectacle are you making? Why are you humiliating us like this? I calmly faced him and replied, Humiliation, I'm not carrying another man's child. Liam was surprised by my blunt denial. He pulled a test result paper from his pocket. Here's the proof, take a look. I vehemently denied. This isn't mine, I'm not pregnant. Aren't you accusing me enough? I had been waiting for this exact moment to let Liam think he was in complete control, so that when he was at his most confident, I would push him from the peak into the abyss. You think denying it will make it go away? Mrs. Zhao sneered, her voice laced with triumph. Liam, don't talk so much, take her for the test. Fine, let's go, I replied, raising an eyebrow in defiance. My mother worriedly squeezed my hand and whispered, Jenny, stay with your father. I'll be right back. I gently reassured my mother before following Liam and Mrs. Zhao. On the way, Mrs. Zhao continuously provoked me. Jenny, you made such a big deal, thinking a denial would suffice. Truly childish? Seeing my silence, she continued. Anyway, you were once a daughter-in-law of the Liam family. If you kneel and apologize to me and little Liam now, we'll give you another chance. Don't you have $500 million in investments? Transfer it to my name. It's only trouble for a girl to keep money. Let me hold on to it for you. I couldn't help but burst into laughter, my eyes glinting with sarcasm. Hold on to it for me? It's more like you want to claim it for yourself. Mrs. Zhao awkwardly cleared her throat. Calling it claiming isn't nice. It's the Liam family's money. I'm an elder. I should naturally hold on to it. Stopping, I faced them. If that's the case, then state all your demands. I couldn't hide my disgust at their bottomless greed. Mrs. Zhao subtly glanced at Liam, signaling him. He then spoke. Transfer the ownership of the house to Mother's name. Give all your savings to Mother. You are not to interfere in my affairs with Tina. I will be home on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. The other days, I will be with Tina. As for your job, you're to quit and wholeheartedly stay home to take care of Mother. Even if Mother scolds you, you are not allowed to argue. It was a shock. From then on, I would officially become an unpaid servant for the Liam family, enduring all their contempt and humiliation. Unable to bear it any longer, I burst out laughing. Liam, are you out of your mind? Liam glared at me, his voice feigned. I've pitied you enough. If you were with another man, you would have demanded a divorce long ago. I calmly turned off the audio recorder on my phone, each word resounding with fierce determination. I've done nothing wrong. I don't need your pity. My cold words enraged Mrs. Zhao. She grabbed Liam's arm. Just wait and see if you'll still be laughing. The pregnancy test was not complicated. A urine test was sufficient. While waiting for the results, Mrs. Zhao pulled Liam aside, calculating how they would use my money as if it all already belonged to them. But then, the results brought a shock. The doctor said, not pregnant. Mrs. Zhao snatched the result paper. No way. She flipped the paper over and over, then went to another hospital for verification. The results were still the same. I was not pregnant. Their entire plan shattered. Mother and son were stunned, speechless. The truth was, I wasn't pregnant. But Liam hiding his infertility, along with the photos, were clear evidence of his infidelity. With the audio recording in hand, I was confident in seeking a divorce, forcing the guilty party to leave empty-handed. All their dreams of seizing my assets vanished in an instant. This was my way of taking revenge on him. Not giving up easily, Mrs. Zhao continued to find ways to harass me, using veiled threats and even hiring people to intimidate me. But I recorded all evidence of their threats and handed it all over to my lawyer. I made it clear. I wouldn't yield a single penny of my assets, and I wouldn't let Liam keep a single penny of his either. When they met with the lawyer, a fierce argument broke out between Mrs. Zhao and Liam. Mrs. Zhao declared she would drag out this divorce case until death. As the situation escalated, the lawyer played the audio recording, infuriating Mrs. Zhao so much that she fainted on the spot. I heard she had a heart attack and was hospitalized shortly after. That was the consequence of their despicable schemes. Karma had struck. From then on, Mrs. Zhao was hospitalized and no longer able to harass me. Liam, like a lost soul with no support, frantically sought refuge. Every few days, he would come to me, even threatening to kill me if I didn't give him money, but it was to no avail. I immediately reported him to the police, leading to his temporary detention for a few days. After being released from prison, Liam suddenly tried to make amends, as if he had become a different person, starting to fawn over me and give me gifts. He acted tender and sweet, like a perfect husband in everyone's eyes, but I knew his intentions perfectly. Inside, he was surely plotting something. This became clear when a friend of mine, coincidentally acquainted with Tina, heard her bragging about an expensive diamond ring. My friend recognized it as the one Liam had stolen from me. Tina also mentioned they were looking at a new apartment in the city center, preparing for a wedding. While Liam was putting on an act with me, he was building a future with Tina. A scoundrel like that probably had no other choice but to face the deserved consequences for his shameless actions. A few days later, Liam came and knelt as if hoping to sway me. Jenny, please don't divorce me. I love you. I can't live without you." My heart filled with sarcasm, I asked, "Do you truly love me?" "Yes, I love you," he replied as if sincere. "Then prove it," I said, pointing to the 60-story skyscraper across the street. "Jump from there and I'll believe you." Liam bowed his head, muttering, "If I don't jump, I die." I smiled, my face expressionless. "Exactly. And that's what I want." Liam's face turned pale. He snapped, "Jenny, you're truly cruel?" I didn't answer. I just pulled out my phone and played an audio recording. My husband loved me so deeply, he loved no one else but me. 6 years together. If that woman hadn't clung to him, things wouldn't have come to this. But it won't last much longer because I've taken out a very high insurance policy and I'm the beneficiary. When she's gone, everything will fall into place. The voice in the recording was unmistakably clear. "Liam, does that sound familiar?" I asked him again. He paled, denying it immediately. "No, I don't know who that is." "It's fine," I challenged, raising an eyebrow. "Just give it to the police and they'll find out, and her husband will surely meet his end soon." At the sight of his fear, thinking of his previous time in jail made him tremble. Liam instantly softened. "What do you want, Jenny?" "Let's go to the civil registry office right now and finalize the divorce. Otherwise, I can't guarantee who this recording might fall into." Liam came to see me not to divorce, but to beg me to stay, yet sadly, he only met with utter failure. He lunged to snatch my phone, but a security guard quickly intervened. He was punched and fell, sprawling. "Divorce or not?" I asked, gripping my phone tightly. Finally, Liam reluctantly covered his face and mumbled, "I agree to the divorce." Liam left empty-handed. All assets belonged to me. Walking out of the civil registry office this time, I felt as if I had escaped shackles. The sky was clear, my heart brimming with life and indescribable joy. Liam, unable to bear it, blocked my path. "The audio recording," I said. "I'll delete it a month after receiving the divorce certificate." Filled with resentment, he threatened, "Jenny, there will come a day when you'll have to bow down and beg me." I laughed loudly. "Not even in your dreams." While waiting for the divorce to be finalized, I was selling the house through a real estate agent. Now divorced, I wanted to cut ties with unpleasant memories. A beautiful 3-bedroom house in the city center at a good price quickly found a buyer. Once the procedures were complete, I invited the agent for bubble tea to celebrate my reborn new life. Recently, gold prices had been continuously rising. I decided to use the money from the house sale to invest in gold. Luck was on my side. A few days later, gold prices surged, helping me accumulate a significant sum. I used this money to buy gifts and visit my parents. Knowing about my divorce, my parents no longer sighed in despair but became a solid support, telling me I could return anytime. but I chose not to return. Instead, I rented a spacious, luxurious apartment to live in. My goal this year was to own it. On the day I received my divorce certificate, the weather was beautiful. My heart felt like a bird released from its cage, so light and peaceful. Compared to me, Liam looked pathetic and utterly defeated. Seeing me, he weakly asked, "Can you lend me some money?" I immediately remembered him buying insurance, waiting for compensation from me. What kind of scoundrel deserved pity? I ignored him, got into my car, and drove off, leaving him behind. About half a month later, I heard that Mrs. Zhao had found out about the divorce and rushed to my house looking for me. At that time, my family was just gathered together. The sound of banging on the door and angry curses echoed repeatedly. I told my parents to stay inside, stepped out, and locked the door. Facing me, she was aggressive, ready to launch an attack. As her daughter-in-law, I had endured her for so long, but now there was no reason to tolerate it anymore. Holding a badminton racket, I swung it, making her recoil in fright. A cry of pain rang out. "Jenny, you dare to hit me?" I scoffed casually. "Yes, I hit you." Then I swung the racket a few more times. She quickly clutched her arm, her face pale. "Jenny, if you lay a hand on me again, I'll call the police." "Go ahead," I challenged with a smirk. "Let's see who's really causing trouble." Mrs. Zhao knew she was in the wrong and dared not do anything further. She turned to drag my mother out, but I stopped her. "Mother, don't worry, everything will be fine." Unusually defeated, she still didn't forget to scold my mother. "About the children's divorce, your family owes me an explanation." Mrs. Zhao jumped up, shrieking in a fit of rage. "Look at how my son has been tormented by Jenny to such a pathetic state. She didn't even say a word before selling the house." "That house had a part belonging to me. On what grounds did you sell it?" She ranted and raved until she was exhausted, stopping to stand with hands on her hips, panting. I looked at her, my voice sharp and cold. "I let you stay for 3 years and you already consider yourself the owner. If you walked on a road for 3 years, would you think that road belonged to you? You're dreaming too much. That house was originally mine." "Show me the documents," Mrs. Zhao shrieked. I defiantly challenged. "If it's yours, then show me the proof." She glared, seething. "How dare you talk nonsense? Now you've sold the house and I have nowhere to live. You have to take responsibility. This is the first time I've heard of a divorced person being responsible for their former mother-in-law," I emphasized, my voice sarcastic. "Is Liam dead? Why don't you go find him to demand compensation? Fine, present his death certificate and I'll support you." "What do you mean, dead?" "May your whole family die," Mrs. Zhao shrieked in fury. "You curse my little Liam, I'll tear you apart." Seeing her about to strike, I raised the racket, calmly facing her. "Come on, you overly dramatic woman." Mrs. Zhao pulled her hand back, taking 2 steps back, her voice challenging. "I won't let you get away with this." I stepped closer, my voice low enough only for the 2 of us to hear. "If you dare, then kill me, just do it." Knowing Mrs. Zhao might cause trouble again, I booked a long vacation for my parents. The next day, I went to the airport to see them off, my heart light and unburdened. I could handle work much more comfortably. I decided to install a camera in front of her house. If she came back to harass me, I would know immediately. Indeed, she came to cause a ruckus. All her actions were recorded by the camera. I saved them as evidence. Afterwards, I quit my job to start my own studio. Every day was busy and meaningful. On the day I signed my first major contract, I invited Snow to celebrate. Coincidentally, we ran into Liam and Tina. They were forced to kneel and bark like dogs in the middle of the street. Their pathetic barking filled me with a sense of vindication. Snow asked, "Are you happy?" "Absolutely," I replied. Snow, who despised people like them and had wanted to settle scores with Liam for a long time, saw them. She grabbed a bottle of wine and walked over. "How dare you bully my Jenny? Watch out." She poured a bottle of red wine over Liam's head, making him tremble, unable to move. Watching from afar, my heart almost burst with joy. When my parents returned from their trip, Mrs. Zhao didn't show up. I thought she had given up. Unexpectedly, she resorted to another trick. She found where I lived and started slandering me throughout the apartment building. But she didn't anticipate the consequences for her destructive behavior. The police soon got involved. Mrs. Zhao was arrested and imprisoned for a month. When she was released, she was disoriented, muttering ceaselessly in fear, surely having learned her lesson. Hearing the news, Snow and I celebrated together. Karma had arrived swiftly, and the feeling was truly exhilarating. Unexpectedly, there was even better news. Tina, seeing Liam as worthless, ran off with someone else, taking all his remaining money. Liam chased after her but was hit by a car, breaking his leg. His spirit shattered, he wasted away day by day, culminating in the idea of jumping off a building to end it all. The hospital wouldn't admit him anymore, so Mrs. Zhao had to take him back. Homeless, they were forced to live a miserable life in a basement. As they spiraled downwards, I thrived. Within half a year, I opened my second studio, and my staff grew from 5 to 50 people. I continuously expanded into the culinary industry. 1 year after opening my fifth studio, I coincidentally ran into Liam. He was in rags, limping along, begging for food. When he saw me, he tried to avoid eye contact, but not long after, he turned back and asked, "Are you doing well?" My gaze made him freeze. How could I not be doing well? Then he burst into tears. Jenny, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have been like that those 3 years. My heart was blinded by delusions, unable to see your worth. Liam slapped himself until his lips bled. But Liam was just a past to me now. Decisively, I turned away. Though I knew he was watching me, I didn't look back. Returning, I told Snow the story. She said to me, "You know what? Liam killed Tina." I was stunned. Tina, she? Tina took Liam's money and ran off with someone else. When Liam found her, he killed her. That night, Liam jumped off a building to commit suicide. Mrs. Zhao also died, decomposing in that basement apartment. A fitting end for evil people. Their lives no longer concerned me. Conferences and trade showed me a bigger world. I told Snow, "I'm going to take the company public." She smiled. "I've been waiting for that." 5 years later, it became a reality. I was a shining figure, admired and proud, living a successful life. I was in control. Liam's perspective asterisk. My mother always taught me that a man needed to be strong and in control of his family. That's why, from the moment I married Jenny, I gave myself the right to bully her, whether there was a valid reason or not. I always looked for ways to cause trouble. Even though Jenny always cooked delicious meals, I would deliberately criticize them, saying the food was terrible, to make her feel guilty and blame herself. After days like this, Jenny became increasingly quiet and tolerant. I started to grow bored of her silence and sought new pleasures outside. During my visits to bars, I met several women who knew how to flirt and please me. They often called me brother, and I enjoyed that. Before long, I crossed every boundary. My initial guilt gradually faded, replaced by an indulgence in a dissolute lifestyle. When I no longer had enough money to spend, I returned to Jenny to ask for money. She earned more money than me, and also had a dowry from her family when we married, amounting to 1 billion dong. I once remembered that Tina really liked the diamond ring Jenny's mother had given her for her birthday, worth 100 million dong. I secretly took it and gave it to Tina, then outright denied it when Jenny asked. After Jenny pressed me a few times, I showed my annoyance, making her afraid to ask further. Everything seemed to have settled down until the truth was exposed. Jenny found out I couldn't have children and discovered I was cheating. She proposed a divorce. Even though Tina continuously urged me to divorce, I tried to refuse, but ultimately I was forced to agree to the divorce to appease Tina. That was the most foolish decision I had ever made. Tina only cared about money, and when she realized I had nothing left, she abandoned me for someone else, taking all my remaining money. Feelings of anger and loneliness engulfed me. In desperation, I sought to confront Tina and end everything. In despair, standing on the rooftop, I remembered Jenny's words, "If you jump from here, I will forgive you." In that moment, I genuinely wished to receive her forgiveness. Looking at the faint city lights, I remembered Jenny's smile, a smile sparkling like starlight. I jumped, and as I fell, I wondered, this time will she forgive me?